Another day at the World Trade Center. Where's my hair? Oh yeah, I look spectacular. I tried to put the light on, but it's so bright, it has no effect. So if you see me in the shadows, that's why. So yeah, too bad. Oh, some clouds are coming in. Maybe it'll have an effect. Anyway, nice day here. Nice day at the Freedom Tower. That's it. That's the Freedom Tower. Where's my hand? Yes, that's the Freedom Tower. Oh God, it's bright out. Anyway, so I wanted to make this video for a while. I told myself I would never pregame, but I guess I have to pregame just a little bit. It's been 5 years since the pandemic. Wait, I just want to move this thing. There we go. 5 years since the pandemic started. Like this was the time. I remember I was at ground zero. Here I am, ground zero, but I was also at ground zero of the pandemic, which was Elmhurst Hospital, Jackson Heights, Queens. Right there, right in the center of chaos, in quarantining. So I remember, like, this Monday was St. Patrick's Day, and I remember they canceled the parade because of this thing. And this was the time it's like, yeah, this is when the alarm bells really rang. And they said, okay, it's time to snuggle up in bed and never leave the apartment again. And it was a horrible experience. I have not recovered from that experience, especially financially. It's been just a disaster. And I really have a lot of mixed opinions how it was handled. And I told myself I wasn't getting apolitical stuff, but no, but it was a serious thing. And I was here for a while, and I was kind of shuttling back and forth, seeing like, I guess I have to shut down the studio. I didn't know what to do, really. I didn't know how to, I guess, shut it down. I kind of got a couple of beers, packed up some stuff, and I left in March, like I guess around this time. And I did not return until June. And I had a plant here that I had potted inside of one of my parking meters. And I really loved that plant because it was like my discipline. I think that people, if you have a studio, you should have a plant at the studio to keep yourself disciplined. So because if you have to make sure that it's alive, you have to go. And this plant was very vascular. It needed water, definitely once a week. And when I finally got back here, it was dead. And I felt so horrible. I cried over a plant because it's just like, that plant was relying on me, and then I was relying on this country and on the city, on this population to keep me safe and to give me accurate information, and they didn't. So, and here I wanted to show you. This is my vaccine card. Can you see it? I'll turn it this way, whatever. And it's fake. I made a fake vaccine card. Totally fake. And how did I make a fake one? Because some fool dropped one theirs outside of Elmhurst Hospital, and all I did was, since I used to make fake IDs as a kid, and then when I was older, all I did was just white out their name, put in my name, add my date of birth, my whole thing. They already have the vaccine stickers, and then I put it in some tea to make it look like it was kind of beat up. And that's it. This card was make or break. If I couldn't walk into a diner, I couldn't walk into a bar, I couldn't go to an art show because I didn't have this card. And I didn't get the vaccine. I didn't get the vaccine at all. And it's because I have an enlarged heart. And I didn't know about the heart stuff at the time, and I realized, no, I can't just put anything into my body like that because whatever reasons. And then I heard about all these horrible things that happened that people do, and so many people died because of the vaccine. And I remember being in Rite Aid, to get the vaccine because you could schedule it and stuff. I'm glad everybody just forgot about all this. I'm still completely I'm still completely freaking traumatized. And it's like everybody just kind of forgot about it, like it was some collective bad dream. Um, but yeah, and I had found two of these. I found two of these cards. So like I even updated my own. Yeah, I even updated my own booster. It's like it's like having parents that actually survived wars and where they actually had fake documents. I even had fake documents when I used to travel to communist Poland and Czechoslovakia. I looked a lot like one of my younger cousins. Actually, not younger. He was exactly the same age as me, born 3 days after. And I used to walk around with his passport and papers. So, I wouldn't even walk around my American ID. I used to walk around with his ID. We just bought it all. We just rented it from him for a couple of weeks. I mean, this is the problem with the law. It's like people say you have to respect the law. My parents were very law abiding, but when it came to anything overseas, they were like, no, that their laws are kind of stupid. We don't obey those laws. You know. Anyway, so what was my point? My point was that I did go to Rite Aid, and I remember lifting up. I had my arm out. I had like the nurse or whoever the hell. I don't even know if they had nurses really. And I remember putting my arm out and ready to take the vaccine. I was like, all right, all right, all right. I got pressured from everybody. I had a wedding to go to, and they wanted everybody vaccinated, and they wanted proof. I had to email proof to the wedding planner. I'm like, what are you? Okay, what are you crazy? So I asked the shot administrator, what's in this? What's in the vaccine? And she looks at me and she says, I don't know. And I'm like, well, what happens if something goes wrong? And she's like, I don't know. And then I'm like, well, um, so who do I call if there's like, a problem or if I get sick or something? She's like, I don't know. I guess you can go to the hospital. And I'm like, so you don't know what's in this? You don't know what is going to happen to me, and you don't know what I'm supposed to do if something does like happen to me. Like, where am I supposed to? Like, there's no phone number, emergency hotline, like the 1-800 vaccine. No, nothing, nothing. She had no answers for me, and and then I rolled up my sleeve, and I just went, "Fuck you," and yeah, it wasn't that dramatic, but still, I was. And this went on for weeks. I kept scheduling stuff and it just was just like, you know what, and I suffered a lot because of that, because of uncertainty and unsure. And I couldn't get in touch with my own doctor who like retired, but then came out of retirement and became like a pulmonary specialist. I'm like, this guy should. And I Facebooked him, and he didn't give me any answers. So I'm like, I'm still mad at that dude. Like, it's just like, everybody just jumped on board. And I'm like, wait a minute, not all of us are in the same um, health position. Not all of us are whatever. We're not all carbon copies of each other. Some things affect other people differently. And then I was telling people, like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't really the vaccine, it's just what they put in it, the delivery stuff, the suspension, the liquid that's in, the suspension liquid or whatever they put it in. If it, and then I saw people that, I'm a person that gets like rashes. Um, I get big rashes from bug bites and stuff like that. I know it, and I probably would get a rash probably from the injection. But I wouldn't probably. I don't know if I was going to get sick from the vaccine itself, but just of the whatever they put the stuff in, because it's not just water or something. They put in some sort of fluid. But who knows? And then I saw people online. They blew up like balloons. Their arms the size they look like Popeye. They got the Popeye forearms. I'm like, no thanks. So anyway, um, I always meant I was gonna burn this, but I'm just gonna keep it. But anyway, that's. Do you remember? Do you remember the madness? Because I didn't forget the madness. All right. Oh, how do you? I never know. Yeah.